My experience of the rules is that they're straightforward, and that on issues of uncertainty they can be resolved by a phone call to the department to clarify the status. I certainly wouldn't have imagined, as Barnaby Joyce and George Brandis seem to, that using my taxpayer entitlements to attend a wedding was an appropriate thing to do.
Is George Brandis the right person to be drawing up the government's new ministerial code of conduct?
Well, Mr Brandis still apparently thinks that it is appropriate to use taxpayer funds to attend the wedding of a former journalist. I mean, that seems to suggest that parliamentarians can use their travel allowances for pretty much anything. As long as someone who does work or used to work in the media is attending an event, then apparently, according to that standard, we're able to use our taxpayer entitlements. I don't believe that makes Mr Brandis the right person to be drawing up a ministerial code of conduct. That certainly suggests that he has a loose interpretation of the rules, which is not what I think the Australian people would expect. Mr Brandis, in past cases of allegations of misuse of entitlements, has been the first to call for the Australian Federal Police to come and investigate. I don't think that's what should happen here. I think this is simply a matter where repayment and an apology would have been appropriate. Mr Brandis has done the repayment, but he's unapologetic.
For all of us, we have to make a judgment call on the kind of activities we do and whether they should be at government expense. I'm certain this is in George, one of the busiest people in federal politics, so he's doing a range of things everywhere he travels. In this occasion, where common sense test would say that this is a wedding and most Australians would say that that's a private affair, we would expect that shouldn't be billed to the state. But this is a call for that every one of us makes. Everyone has paid money back, myself included, when we look at the activities and the expenses that have been lodged, and we determine that in the public interest you can't mount a case for state funding. So it's quite simple. If we and plans change all the time, the type of work politicians do changes in real time. At the end of the day, if it can't be supported, we pay that money back. And I encourage an open process where every Australian knows what politicians are doing, where we're travelling, how we're travelling and what we're doing. Once we had an open system like that, I think we would be far more transparent and also far less unwieldy. Where we have hundreds of bureaucrats processing receipts for politicians, I think it's a crazy situation. We're doing a range of activities all the time, so it could be a full day of various activities plus something that's a private event. And in that case, we've got to make a call. Often the events of the day have changed, whether it truly is a day full of work that should be billed to the state or not. So these things are changing in real time. I've taken taxi fares, for instance, where initially that was intended to be a work event, but the work event didn't materialise, and you've got to make a call and just pay that out of your own pocket.